Hello and welcome to the 15th lesson of the course, Copywriting from 0 in 30 days. In the previous episode, we talked about how to create content for the homepage of the website. Today, we are learning how to write a copy for About Us page, traditionally with illustrative examples and a template that you can copy or download and use in your own projects. About Us page tasks. Usually, people visit the About Us page in two cases. Firstly, when choosing a contractor or supplier and want to get more data to make a decision. Secondly, when the decision has already been made, for example, emotionally, but more rational arguments are needed in its favor, for justification. In order to fit both cases at the same time, the About Us page must solve 4 tasks. 1. Give the necessary information. 2. Stand out from competitors. 3. Build trust. And 4. Convert the audience into a target action. As you can see, the tasks are somewhat similar to those that we solved during the development of the homepage of the site. The principles here are the same. About Us page just has its own specifics and slight differences in terms of the intent of the audience. Now let's look at an illustrative example. Let's suppose that we have our own company, small business, that produces candied fruits, and we need to write a text about the company. We remember that when it comes to the content for a website, a copywriter doesn't just write texts, but develops wireframes or mockups. We talked about what they are and how to develop them in the 9th lesson of this course. And that's why, in this example, we'll be creating a wireframe for the About Us page. The first screen of the page. Let's try something daring and special. For example, solve all 4 tasks at once on the first screen. It will not be easy, but we're not afraid of difficulties, are we? First, we make the site header with navigation. It is the same for all pages. Next, let's put the title image. On it, we will place a headline according to For You formula, bullets, no more than 5 to 7, and a capture point in the form of a price request form. We talked about how to create For You headlines in the 4th lesson, as well as about bullets in the 12th episode. Finally, let's add a block with numbers and facts. We needed to activate the psychological methods of influence, which we talked about in the 13th lesson. Now we have the first screen completed, and it solves all 4 assigned tasks. Let's see. The first task is to provide the information. The headline, the bullets with key aspects, and the block with numbers and facts are responsible for this. Moreover, the same blocks solve the task of standing out from competitors. The third task is inspiring trust. We use authority attributes and social proof to solve it. Finally, we have a contact form that converts audience into leads. Please note that the first screen is based on the first 2 stages of AIDA model. We talked about it in the 6th lesson. Next, we can add some new blocks to the wireframe to give people even more information and increase their trust. Other blocks of About Us page. In order to get more points of loyalty, we can use a block with Y formula. We talked about its mechanics in the 13th lesson. Instead of a Y formula, here you can make a separate text block describing the values, story, mission, and goals of the company. At the same time, it is desirable that the values of the company and the target audience coincide. Then we can show examples of the most popular products. Please note that we add commercial value wherever possible. For instance, we show important aspects that are of interest to our audience in subheadings and other local blogs. Next, we can show the benefits. You already know how benefits differ from features, characteristics, and abstractions. We covered this topic in the 3rd lesson. Then, we can show a gallery of photos of production, equipment, transport, participation in conferences, receiving awards if any, etc. After that, we can use the next block, step-by-step algorithm. It may seem banal and primitive, but it also has its own function. It shows the reader's brain the mechanics of interacting with us, in present tense. As a result, the brain has an illusion that it is already working with us, that working with us is easy. Eventually, the necessary emotions appear, making it easier for the brain to make a decision in our favor, if it hasn't already done so. Then we can show certificates, photos of managers, as well as client logos and letters of recommendation. Certificates are attributes of authority. Photos of managers show openness and evoke goodwill. And customer logos and testimonials are social proof. Altogether, increases credibility and allows us to stand out from competitors. The final blocks are call to action with a callback request form and a map of the office location. As you can see, we have a rather impressive wireframe for the About Us page, although at first it might seem that there was nothing special to write about. I remind you that you can download or copy this wireframe and use it as a template for your own projects. You can add new blocks to it or remove what is not needed. By the way, you can also use any blocks from the swipe file that we created in the 11th lesson of this course. I posted the links in the description below. Practical task. Now it's time to practice. Try to create your own wireframe of About Us page using the template, or even better, from scratch. You will succeed. Take care of yourself, subscribe, and see you in the next lesson.